What's going on, everyone? The Together SI Business Spotlight rolls on here on SILive.com, and I am Todd reporting for the Staten Island Advance. And today, our conversation brings us to Joe Tornello. He is the CEO of Meals on Wheels, Staten Island. Joe, how are you, and what's going on?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. All's well. No complaints here.
Excellent, Joe. Let's get into Meals on Wheels of Staten Island a little bit. Give us the history of and the mission of Meals on Wheels.
Great. Well, we're closing in on celebrating our 50th anniversary. Opened in 1972 as a pilot project of some community leaders who felt there was a need to address the need for nutrition, healthy nutrition of our growing older adult population. And of course, over the years, we've grown. We've always maintained a standard of providing 2 meals a day, which, by the way, is beyond the federal standard. Programs throughout the country doing home delivered meal programs are required to do 1 meal a day. We've been doing 2 since we opened. We've also always been responsive to people's special dietary requirements, people with diabetes, people with renal disease, renal diets, etc., and able to address not only just sending out healthy nutrition, we send out the right healthy nutrition. And we feel strongly we keep people healthy. And we are certainly well integrated within our community, within our all aspects of our community. That's so impressed me during my years here at Meals on Wheels, how Meals on Wheels is part of the business community, of the educational community, cultural community, the not-for-profit community, beyond aging services. And we get wonderful support from all sectors. And Borough Hall, our electeds, it's been a great experience.
Excellent. And looking at the future, let me first go to the recent past there, Joe. Let's go to when COVID-19 pandemic hits around March, right? And things get shut down. And I'm assuming that means Meals on Wheels as well. What did the COVID-19 pandemic and quarantine mean for Meals on Wheels Staten Island the past few months, Joe?
It didn't shut us down. We've delivered meals throughout all of these months. We just had to make adjustments over this period of time. Way back in the beginning of April, when at the end of March, beginning of April, we needed to go on to instead of delivering meals every single day, which has been our standard over the last 48 years, we had to go into a process where we were delivering 5 meals frozen on Mondays and 3 meals on Fridays for the weekends. And so that was the first adjustment we had to make. We just couldn't keep our staff elbow to elbow in the kitchen for 5-6 hours at a time, preparing and plating meals. It would be too much of a hazard for them. And then, of course, going to our meal recipients, which number over 1,200 people every single day, also presenting a hazard to them. So we had to minimize that exposure, not only for our staff, but the people we deliver food to. And we put into effect various types of conditions, certainly all staff, face masks, hand sanitizer, face shields, gloves. We're only using 1 door coming in and out of the building, and everyone entering the building had to have a mask on and have their temperature taken. We obtained some electronic thermometers. And also deliverers were instructed that they would leave the meal by the door or on the door handle, step back 6 to 10 feet, wait for the meal to be received by the recipient, check that they were well, and if not, to call that into the office so that we can implement an intervention or assistance, and then move on with the rest of their deliveries. So that process is what we had to move into way in the beginning of April. The Department of the Aging identified a city-based vendor for us to use for those frozen meals. But after a month, we saw how the food we were getting from them wasn't up to our standards. Our chef decided we would start doing our own meals and freeze them, and we started that in beginning of May, and started preparing meals in our kitchen and freezing them for delivery, maintaining that once a week and Friday and Monday deliveries. We adjusted actually at the end of June into where we're not sending out frozen meals anymore. Where the kitchen now has gone to 3 days a week. We do a hot meal and chill meal going out on Monday, Wednesdays, and then on Fridays the Friday meal plus the weekend meal. So we made those adjustments going along, and we're starting to plan for August, how we're going to hopefully at some point soon get back to our 5-day-a-week delivery.
So, Joe, that was my next question. What's it looking like for the rest of the summer and for the fall? How are you anticipating Meals on Wheels need to adjust what they do in their approach? It sounds like you have a pretty good plan in place right now. What's Meals on Wheels look like?
Well, it's first of all, we are maintaining that priority of safety of our staff and our recipient. And for example, what the chef has done is, for example, our cooks come in at their normal time, 5 in the morning, to cook the meals and prepare them ready to be plated. And then the aides come in at 9 and work a short shift so that we're not overcrowding our kitchen area. So our plan is to continue that and then modify that into 5 days a week. Hopefully by the middle of August or early August, we can start that and get back to our full 2-meal-a-day regimen, maintaining all of our safety protocols, the distancing within the kitchen, having only one person enter the kitchen at a time. For example, we're so very heavily dependent on volunteers. We love our volunteers. There's over 400 people involved in our volunteer delivery on a normal basis. And instead of volunteers all coming into the kitchen to pick up their food, we'd monitor that, one person coming in at a time, obtaining their food, going out the door for delivery. We have 48 volunteer routes, Todd, and every route has a different volunteer for each day of the week. And many of our volunteers are retired older adults themselves.
Wow.
And so we need to also protect their safety. We're going forward, Todd, and I just mentioned earlier too that we just got a delivery of some more hand sanitizer, and we're planning out our inventory to the end of the year to have enough masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, also cleaning equipment for the kitchen. We're scheduling regular kitchen cleanups, a company that would do full kitchen and office sanitizing. All of these protocols to make sure that we maintain a clean and safe environment here, and that our delivery protocols are also safe for the people that we're serving. And our census is growing. We reopened. There was a point in time when the Department for the Aging instructed us to stop doing intakes and to refer all of our people, calls coming in, to the case management agency, CASC, who we partnered with very closely, who in turn had to make those referrals into Get Food NYC. Some of the feedback we were getting was not great from some of those people. We appealed to the city that we want to start doing our own intakes again, and now we've completed into our 3rd week. We're doing our own intakes. Our registered nurses, 2 wonderful, dedicated nurses, on the phones, taking those calls, getting people started on meals, and we're starting to see our census grow again.
What a great approach here, Joe. Great to hear that you guys are adapting well and taking all the necessary precautions and really nailing down the continuation of Meals on Wheels and the service they provide to the Staten Island community and everyone that does need it. Joe, let's end this interview on a positive note, although you've had a lot of good news so far and how Meals on Wheels is continuing. A silver lining of all this, Joe, the past few months, we've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. Meals on Wheels been through a lot. Just a good takeaway that you've had for the past few months, Joe.
Well, just, how blessed we are with our community, Todd. Staten Island is a great place. Say, for example, our being part of the Staten Island Co-ed, the Community Organizations Against Disaster, and working with that group and Borough Hall with Dr. Ginny Mantello there. And the people that have emerged, we needed an outside freezer, a 20-foot container freezer. It was donated to us on loan for 6 weeks. And
oh, wow.
Even the fuel for that was being donated, and other people moving forward. And I have to mention the dedication of our staff, the staff in our kitchen, our staff drivers. We have 20 delivery trucks that are involved in delivery, besides the volunteers that are out there, and our staff in the kitchen and our staff in the office. People have consistently come through. I love the people I work with. I love the staff, their commitment to what we do. We're not glorified here as frontline workers, but I see them as frontline workers. They've been here throughout this whole time. We'll be here for the months to come, making sure that there's food going out to the elderly, the frail elderly in our community who are challenged to access healthy nutrition. So we're going to be there, and we're surrounded by wonderful people here, Todd. Not only in the agency, our board of directors. I can go on and on.
Yes,
we are blessed on Staten Island.
Excellent. All right, Joe Tornello from Meals on Wheels Staten Island. He's the CEO. Thanks so much for the time. So great to hear an upbeat, positive view of how things have been going over there. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd.
All right. Wow, what a great information, and good to hear that they're continuing to do well at Meals on Wheels and provide the service that they provided to the Staten Island community for so long. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Todd reporting for the Staten Island Advance. This was Together SI Business Spotlight. We will see you next time.